It's official. Kraitos Elite version 2.2.2 has been released. It's more powerful than ever, and this presentation will guide you through a number of the important points that we need to go over. So let's begin. First, we have a Kraitos Elite Telegram group, and this is very important that you join this Telegram group. This is where we'll be posting updates, tips, and things of that nature to help you get better profits and better risk management. So please join this Telegram group. We have a second Telegram group, and that is the Auvoria Prime official Telegram. You can see here, auvoriaprime.me/official-telegram. One other thing we'd like to put out is we now have an official Auvoria Prime MyFX book, and here you'll see the link. At this link you can go and you can see all of the accounts that we're running, whether it's on demo or live accounts, all of the different software, and also our different strategies by code. And so you'll be able to keep up with our official settings and know whether or not you are applying those to your own personal accounts. Now, if you go to your VPS, you'll be able to check your navigator window, as you see on the left-hand side of this screen, and you'll see Kraitos Elite. If you drag that to your chart, you will now see Kraitos Elite 2.2.2. If you do not see 2.2.2, instead you see 2.2.1, what you'll want to do is reboot your VPS. This takes a number of hours to update everybody's VPS, and so if you have not seen that yet, go ahead, reboot, and then you should be fine. In most cases, there shouldn't be any problems, but it is important that you access your VPS and go ahead and make a quick check on these things. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is check your settings, but we'll be covering that as we continue in this presentation. So what we wanted to do first, or what I wanted to do first, was to verify that Kraitos Elite as it is works fine. And you can see here, this is Fingo Pro 1, one of the funds that is available through Auvoria Prime. And you can see that there's been a number of months where it's been profitable. And actually, it goes back all the way to 2023 December, where the account has been profitable every month, averaging around 3.6% monthly. A strong part of Fingo Pro 1 is the use of Kraitos Elite. Here we see Kraitos Elite being used on Fingo Pro 5, just over 6% this month, with all of 2024 also looking strong. This is my personal trading account where Kraitos Elite is a strong part of that. I do also take trades from Gearbox, Kraitos X, and place a couple manual trades, but here you can see it's an aggressive over 6% this month. So I show you these MyFX books to show that Kraitos as it is with the default settings is a strong proponent in the expert advisor market. However, over the last couple months, we've been optimizing Kraitos and improving the software, and that's what I want to go over with you now. So what is different between version 2.2.1 and 2.2.2? Well, essentially, we've just given you more control over your settings. The first thing I want to point out is the position size. Previously, we've had a drop-down menu where you're able to select from a number of predefined position sizes. We decided ultimately to do away with that and to give you the freedom to enter any position size that you want. So using the default 0.01 lot size, you can now set your monetary value to apply that 0.01 to. So for example, a very aggressive lot size is 0.01 to 1,000, whereas now you can set that position size as high as you would like. We kept having requests for higher and higher position sizes, from 75,000 to 100,000, even as high as 200,000, 0.01 to 200,000. And so we decided to just open that up. Now we do caution you that a position size really, we feel, of under 0.01 to 3,000 can be aggressive, and if your account size is not large enough, you may encounter higher drawdown than we would feel comfortable with. We did open that up so that you are free to set it as you wish, but that is something that we just wanted to point out. You now have a lot more control over the trend analysis settings, the moving averages, the RSI, the stochastic. And we've also allowed you now to drag Kraitos Elite to multiple charts. We're going to tell you more about that as we progress in this presentation. And then also you have a lot more control now over trading times and pausing the software during those times, primarily to avoid times when the market is consolidating and you can get false signals. So as we take a look at the trend confirmation settings, you see all of these are now open to you to give you a better confirmation of the trend. Now, if you don't understand the settings, again, I want to emphasize, just leave them as the default settings, which are the settings that show when you first drag the expert advisor to your chart. Additionally, we have a lot more control now over the moving averages, and you'll see them here. And all of these settings are going to be explained on the Auvoria Prime support desk. And I'll give you that link here in just a little bit. You also have a lot more control now over the RSI entries and the stochastic entries. If you want to modify these values, I do stress that you should be an experienced trader before you go ahead and modify these settings. We have spent thousands of hours now optimizing the settings for the various currency pairs. Now here you'll see the ability to pause the software at different trading times. For example, you may want to pause the trading when the market rolls over at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard. You may also want to pause various pairs during times of low liquidity when the market is most likely going to consolidate and you could get false trade signals. This is all explained in much greater detail at the help desk. Now you'll also see underneath the pause times these various settings that allow you to enter managing trades, stacking trades, hedging, trailing, or to close profitable targets at any time. You'll want to have all of these set to true if you want the software to continue to manage any of the trades, but as you see here, it says false on allowing the initial entry, and that's the key. If you did want to restrict any of the other entries from going in during the pause times, you would simply set those to false. Now, this is a very important warning. The settings are open to you to modify, but if you don't understand the settings, please take time to know them, or if you're going to modify the settings, do test those settings on a demo account. Do not use them on a live account until you're sure that your settings are going to perform as you expect. We do put a strong emphasis on using the default settings or some of the customized and optimized settings that we provide. Now I'm going to go into some of the back testing that we've done over the last number of months to give you an example of what has been done, what the results have been, and why we're continuing to improve the software. So first, we have established a very rigorous protocol with strict adherence to a set of guidelines. For example, we will test a given year, and then we will optimize settings for that given year, and then we'll optimize those same settings for a 6-year or even a 10-year period, and then we'll optimize another setting for the same period of time, expand it, and then we'll even go back and test other settings that were already optimized, simply because as you continue to optimize settings going forward, it can affect the results from what you have previously done. And so with the help of some quant analysts, we have implemented a very rigorous protocol. We're also using very reputable tick data that has its own spreads built into the tick data. And this tick data is known to underperform simply because of the spreads that are built into the data itself. So with that, we're expecting that our results will be very similar to or even better than the tick data suggests. And again, we've confirmed all of this with professional traders. Additionally, we've started to do 10 years of optimization. And what's important here is that if you understand backtesting, some people will backtest only for 1 month or 3 months where the software really performs well, and then they try to market the software based on a very limited amount of backtesting. Well, what we've done is we've backtested all the way as many as 10 years. So we're not only looking for maximum profits, we're really considering risk management. It's hard for a lot of people to see 10-20% drawdown or even higher. And so what we want to know is, how has the software performed over many years through many different market conditions? And then we will optimize the settings based on all of that data so that you get a very realistic and balanced approach to the future, instead of optimizing the software for just a time in history where it performed very well, but near in the future, the market changes and the software underperforms by either going into serious drawdown or even blowing an account. So we've taken the best steps. We're not going to present returns that are high and most likely unrealistic. We're presenting profits that have stood the test of time, of a decade. We've also begun to rely heavily on AI integration with our results and more analysis into why the software performed a certain way in one market condition or another. And there's also a very close scrutiny of historical performance analysis so that we better understand why the software did something in a particular market. Say, for example, GBP USD, how did our software perform years ago when Brexit took place? If the software underperformed, how do we optimize it for that, just in case there was market conditions like that in the future? So over the last 2 or 3 months, we've really been learning a lot about the backtesting and thinking through multiple scenarios that we would want to make sure we can adjust for the future. So as far as the backtesting, it does take a lot of time because we are optimizing many settings for over 10 years. And so at this point, we have completed a while back now, GBP USD. We completed USD Swiss franc. Now that is not a native pair to Kraitos Elite, but we're also looking now at various strategies. We're speaking with professional traders that explain to us that the inversely correlating pair to GBP USD is USD Swiss franc. So if we run those together, we'll have less drawdown and more profit. And so these are some of the things that we're doing, and that's why we've done back testing on that. Euro USD will be done this week, Tuesday. AUD USD is about to begin. And I just emphasize that we're looking at the primary pairs that are used by Kraitos Elite. We will get around to GBP CAD and USD CAD towards the end, since those are optional pairs, since they have a tendency to run in a trend and cause more drawdown. And then after those 8 primary pairs, we will then move on to other pairs, including the Swiss franc, miners, and JPY. Now, to get through all those pairs, it'll take us months to do, but we'll be releasing the settings, the optimized settings, as we find them, and you can make the decision how you want to implement that into your strategy. So what does all of this mean to you today? Well, you can continue to run the default settings of Kraitos Elite by simply dragging the new Kraitos Elite Expert Advisor file from the navigator to your chart. That's going to load the settings, all of the new settings that are open to you. These are the default settings that just were hidden previously. You want to go ahead and check your position size. If you were not trading GCAD or UCAD, you could remove those. If you were trading them, you might need to add them. Maybe you customized some of your settings, the pips in between trades, your decision units. So just go ahead and look over all of that. Now, the other thing you can do is you can start to open multiple charts. And this is what we are doing on our personal accounts. And that is, you can open, say, for example, one chart, and you will run 5 to 7 pairs on that chart, perhaps excluding GBP CAD and USD CAD. But then you would open an additional chart, GBP USD, and you'll go ahead and drag Kraitos Elite to that chart, but you'll only use GBP USD, and you'll use the customized settings and optimize that we've recently provided. Now, one thing that is very important here is that when you open two separate charts, you'll need to look at the risk management a little bit differently. You can adjust your position size for each. You can also adjust your chill out mode or your equity protector for each. So it's suggested that you take a more conservative position size and run the two charts. But of course, it's all completely up to you and your strategy. But that is where we are trending towards as a company. So what have we learned about position sizes from backtesting? Well, as we backtested anywhere from 0.01 to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, we've discovered that 0.01 to 3,000 is a good position size. What we've discovered is that profit decreases when you do go up to, say, 0.01 to 4,000, but drawdown reduction is actually minimal. It seems like it's a diminishing point of return. Now, clearly, if you continue to go up 0.01 to 5,000 or 10,000, the drawdown is going to be even less. But we did find that 3,000 is a point that seems to be a sweet spot. Now, if you're going to trade a lot of pairs, I know some of the users are trading over a dozen pairs, then of course it's very highly suggested that you use a small position size, even 0.01 to the size of your account balance. Now, I wanted to share some of the backtesting results for GBP USD so you can see the optimization that's been done and what the results are. So from 2019 to 2024 is what the backtesting results, that's a total of 6 years. The position size that we use is 0.01 to 3,000, being what we have now seen to be a relatively safe position size as far as drawdown is concerned. And we use a standard balance amount of $10,000. Here you can see the curve from 2019 to the end of 2024, the equity as well as the balance, equity being green, balance being blue, and here we show you the chart from those backtesting results. Now, the values highlighted in the red box, these are what I really look at personally. Now, you'll notice that just above the red box on the left hand side it says initial deposit. We know that that's $10,000. The total net profit was $29,000 over 6 years, meaning it was close to 300% over 6 years, giving us 50% on average per year. Now, of course, it starts smaller, and then as your balance grows, your annual profitability is going to be higher. But if you were to run your account for 6 years, you'd be about 50% on average. And you can see below that the profit factor is 2.07. Now, generally speaking, a profit factor of 1 is considered good. So 2.07 is considered very good. Now, if we go to the middle, we see the balance drawdown relative. Now, what this means is that if you started with a balance of $10,000, your highest drawdown underneath your balance was 6.68%. If we go to the right of that, equity drawdown relative, it shows that during this span of these 6 years, your highest drawdown was 28.61%. So that could be, your balance had already gone up $10,000, but it came down in some type of a drawdown situation. And then the last value I want to point out is the Sharpe ratio. And you can see this is a 0.90 here, which is considered on the high end of expert advisors. Now, they can get up into the 2 and the 3 range, which are considered excellent. But we do have a Sharpe ratio like that, again, if we do backtest smaller time periods. But again, because we're taking these years and years of backtesting data, our Sharpe ratio goes down simply because it's averaging over all of those 6 years. So we're very pleased at this point with a 0.9 Sharpe ratio. And what the Sharpe ratio basically tells you is it's your risk in drawdown to your profitability. So again, we have the optimized GBP USD settings. We'll be dropping those settings in the Telegram channel right away. That's the Kraitos Elite Telegram channel that I showed you the link to earlier. If you have not joined that and you did not join that when I showed you the link, go back, find it, and join. It's going to be an important Telegram channel to be part of. And we'll also have these settings updated on the help desk at this URL shortly. Now, there's something special we want to offer to you, and that is to backtest your account on the GBP USD settings. So we invite you to send us an email. You can email support@auvoriaprime.com, or you can go to this URL on the screen and submit a ticket. And what we need is your balance amount and your proposed position size. So if you wanted to try to be very aggressive and do a 0.01 to 1,000, and let's say you have $7,000 in your account, or you have $70,000 in your account, send us those values. We'll run a back test from 2019 to 2024, and we'll send you back that data so that you can look at the risks that you are suggesting based on these values. Now, we will use the customized settings. We're not going to run a back test on all kinds of different settings. Again, we've put hundreds of hours now into optimizing the software. We keep these VPSs running 24/7 with all kinds of testing that we're doing. But go ahead and send us something if you'd like. Just include again your balance amount and your proposed position size, and we'll send you back what our data shows us on that. And that's going to conclude our time in this presentation. We are certainly excited over the back testing results that we've gotten, as well as the forward testing that we've started on live accounts over the last month. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send something into support so we can get those things addressed. Thanks for your time. Happy trading.